Hi, my name is Victoria Rodriguez, and I am a heart disease survivor. This week is Congenital Heart Disease Week from February 7th through 14th, so I'd like to share my story in order to promote awareness and just help inform people about congenital heart disease. So, when I was born, I was misdiagnosed with chronic asthma because I suffered from symptoms very similar to heart disease. Symptoms such as sleep apnea, trouble breathing, and my lips would turn blue. It was recommended by my doctors that I only do an indoor sport such as ice skating or gymnastics, and I tried ice skating and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I dreamed of becoming a competitive ice skater, and at 6 years old, I went in for a routine checkup, and my pediatrician realized that my heart murmur, which I'd always had changed, and she was very concerned. So she sent me to a specialist to be seen. They ran some tests and they found that my heart was enlarged because it was under so much stress. I was going through a growth spurt and only half of my heart was working at that time. They discovered I suffered from two congenital heart defects. One was an atrial septal defect, which was a hole in an upper chamber in my heart. And then the other was my pulmonary vein was backing blood into, it was just, blood was going the wrong way. Oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood, my pulmonary vein was not working the way that it was supposed to be working. So they basically told my parents I was not going to make it through the growth spurt I was going through and I needed emergency surgery. So I had open heart surgery 1 week later at Children's Hospital of Orange County in LA on my older brother Andrew's birthday. So every year on his birthday, he also wishes me a happy birthday because I got another chance at life that day. That surgery 100% fixed my heart, it saved my life, and I went on to become a nationally and internationally ranked competitive ice skater for the United States and for the country of Hungary. At 18, I decided to hang up my skates and focus on school. So I went to San Francisco State University, where I graduated with my degree in human communication studies. Shortly after that, I met my now husband, Chris, and we fell in love, started talking about having a family someday. And when I spoke to my doctor, she recommended that we have babies as soon as possible to ensure that my heart was as healthy as possible. So we have two beautiful daughters. We got married in 2021. We had Isabella, who is almost 3 years old now, and her heart was wonderfully healthy. During my pregnancies, I actually required to see a high-risk pregnancy specialist because of my heart. So not only do I receive really great care during my pregnancies for my heart, my babies also undergo an echocardiogram while they're in utero to look at their heart. So we breathed a huge sigh of relief when both her anatomy scan and her echo came back with a beautiful heart. So then we had our youngest daughter, Riley, and we had our echo all set up. So I actually wasn't really expecting to receive any news during our 20-week anatomy scan. I was just so focused that we had an echo and we would find out then if anything was going on. So we had our anatomy scan, and the doctor came in the room with a picture and a note, and she told us, "Your baby has a hole in her heart." And I can't tell you how devastating that was to hear, because immediately I started thinking, is she gonna have to have surgery like I did? Will she have symptoms? Will she not be able to breathe? And we just didn't know at that time what the future would hold for her, and that was really scary. So my heart goes out to anyone who's had to receive that news that there's something wrong with their baby in general, or their baby's heart. It's the hardest news in the world to receive. So we tried to find out more. She did another echo. The hole still hadn't closed up. And basically, what we were told was you need to speak with a specialist to understand what her quality of life is going to be. And that was this even scarier. Even scarier. So we actually ended up transferring our care to Loma Linda Children's Hospital, where they did amazing care for me as mom and amazing care for our baby. She had the most amazing echo that I've ever seen, where they looked at every single part of her body, how the blood was flowing. They looked at her congenital heart defect, which was a ventricular septal defect, a hole in the lower chamber of the heart. It was actually right in the middle lower chamber, so we could see it when they did the echo. We could see right as her heart was pumping, right in that wall, just a little bit of blood, deoxygenated and oxygenated blood, the blue and the red, it was flowing through to the other side. So we were very nervous going into that appointment, but they told us, the pediatric cardiologist we met with said, if you're going to have heart disease, this is the best type of heart disease you could have. This is a very small hole in a very muscular part of the heart, and we expect that it could potentially close before she's born, or it would close within her first year of life. And we breathed a sigh of relief. But they did say, there are things to look out for when she's born. Right now, she's not in distress. She's happy in your tummy. But when she's born, you want to look out if she's having trouble breathing, if she's not hitting her milestones, she's having trouble eating, she's not gaining weight, she's out of breath. If these things happen, we have plans. We can fortify your breast milk. We can we can give her medications to help her. So it was kind of like they were preparing us for the worst, but also telling us like this could be the best case scenario. So during the rest of my pregnancy, I actually had to go in twice a week for something called non-stress tests, where they would hook me up to a machine to monitor her, and they would monitor how her heart behaved while it was having contractions and while she was moving. So they wanted to see her heart rate go up and return to normal a certain amount of times within that appointment, within a certain amount of time. I can't remember how long. I think it was an hour. That might not be right. It's been a while. She is a little bit over a year old now, so it was a while ago. But those non-stress tests were amazing because it reduced the risk of something happening to her before she was born, and they just took really, really great care of her, and I was so thankful. After she was born, they also performed an echo before we left the hospital. She had another echo a couple of months later where they said, the hole is still there, but it's not affecting her. She's growing great, so we don't want to see her until she's a year old. So we had our last appointment with her when she turned a year old, and we received the amazing news that the hole in her heart has closed. So we are so, 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 so thankful that she never needed surgery. She never even knew that she never was like sick like I was. I was very sickly before I had my heart surgery. So I could not thank the Lord enough for that. So you see, there's very different scenarios when it comes to congenital heart disease. I was misdiagnosed. I went untreated until I was 6, while my daughter was treated she was diagnosed at 20 weeks in utero. So it is so, so important to spread awareness of congenital heart disease. Congenital heart disease occurs in 1 in 100 babies, and it is the most common cause of birth defect related deaths. So please, if you know a baby or somebody who is suffering from symptoms like shortness of breath, apnea, lips turning blue, spread awareness to them. If you just in general just spread awareness, because it's so important that people know about congenital heart defects, and it will help support families who have congenital heart defect warriors if you tag a friend and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I will be sharing tons of content, not just about congenital heart defects, but also about heart disease in general. And yeah, so thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day.